Have you ever wondered why is it so hard to create cold if we had as humans heat from day zero, but it took us 1800 years just to develop a fridge? Because heat can be created so easily, we can just rub our hands against each other and there's heat. But if you want to create an ice cube, you for some reason need 1800 years of development. And I might not be the smartest human being, but I'm gonna try to explain how we were even able to create cold in the first place. And the first problem is that I tried thinking of it as creating cold, because we can't really create cold. Because what cold is the absence of heat, which makes a lot of sense based on the second law of thermodynamics, which says that our world is basically constantly trying to stay in a state of balance. And heat will always try to travel from hot to cold so that there is no mismatch in energy. Okay, so that if we know that cold is just the absence of heat, how do we remove the heat? And the most common way is expansion. Because if you try to expand something, it has to push on the environment that is around it, and that takes energy. Then also, temperature is just determined by heat in density. So if we lower the density by expanding it, even though we have the same heat, we actually lower the temperature. And then because the molecules even stretch apart themselves, they need to use their internal energy to expand. These three are all part of adiabatic expansion. And this is all amazing, but if we don't have an idea of how to actually expand something, how do we cool it down? And so imagine it as if you were squeezing a foam ball and you want it to expand. So the best way to actually expand the foam ball is not try to expand the ball itself, it's try to minimize the thing that is squeezing it. And in our case, that's called pressure. So the only real question that we need to answer is how do we lower the pressure? Because that would then make the thing expand. And fridges are an amazing example of this because it has two cycles, one that is high pressure and the second one that is low pressure. And the high pressure one is created by something called a compressor, which compresses as many molecules into the second cycle, creating the high pressure. And so to create the first cycle that has a lot lower pressure, we just do the exact opposite. We just allow a lot less molecules to enter into the first cycle with something called expansion valve. Because there is a lot lower density in that first cycle of the molecules, it's actually expanding. That's why there's such a low temperature. And even though I'm not the smartest, I hope that this was somehow able to explain why cold is such a hard thing to make.